Have you ever blindly trusted someone, only to find that trust betrayed? That blow to the soul, that mix of anger, pain, and confusion can feel like the ground collapsing beneath your feet. Betrayal, no matter where it comes from, a friend, a partner, a colleague, leaves deep marks. But what if I told you that you have the power to transcend that pain, to turn it into an opportunity to grow and strengthen yourself? Marcus Aurelius, one of the main proponents of Stoicism, said, "If it hurts, observe. It is because you have interpreted that it must hurt." This phrase encloses a powerful secret. Pain does not come from betrayal itself, but from our perception of it. In this video, you will discover 7 Stoic lessons that will teach you to manage your emotions, regain your inner peace, and most importantly, transform betrayal into a life lesson. It's not about ignoring what happened, but about taking control of your reaction, because that's where your true strength lies. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, subscribe to our channel. Together, we are building a community where practical philosophy guides us toward a richer and more meaningful life. All right then, with that said, let's begin. Why does betrayal hurt so much? At first glance, we might think the problem lies solely in the act itself, a broken promise, a lie, or an action that feels like a stab in the back. However, the pain has a much deeper root. Betrayal challenges our most fundamental expectations. We believe in loyalty, honesty, reciprocity. We build relationships based on those beliefs. When someone breaks them, we not only feel hurt but also disconnected and vulnerable. Stoic philosophy offers us a different perspective. It is not the act of betrayal that causes us suffering, but our interpretation of it. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught, "It is not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them." This principle invites us to reflect on how we perceive betrayal and the power we grant it. Moreover, Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control the actions of others, only our own reactions. This may seem difficult to accept at first, but it is liberating. If we can redirect our energy towards what depends on us, our emotions, thoughts, and decisions, we can face any challenge, including betrayal, with inner strength. Therefore, this video does not only seek to alleviate the pain, but also to show you how to turn this experience into an opportunity to grow. Each of the 7 lessons we will explore is designed to help you take control of your emotional life, transcend betrayal, and rebuild your confidence from within. Lesson 1. Accept the inevitable. The first lesson invites us to accept what we cannot change. When we face betrayal, our first impulse is often to resist the fact, to ask ourselves why it happened, to blame ourselves, or to cling to a desire for justice. However, this resistance only prolongs our suffering. Epictetus, a wise Stoic, advises us, some things are within our control and others are not. In this case, betrayal belongs to the second category. We cannot control what someone decided to do, but we can control how we react to it. Acceptance does not mean justifying what happened or resigning ourselves to suffering. It means recognizing that what has already happened cannot be undone, and that true power lies in how you choose to respond. Think of it like a storm. You can't stop it, but you can seek shelter and learn to navigate in the rain. For example, if a friend broke your trust, accept that you cannot change what they did. However, you can decide how you will handle your relationship with that person in the future. A practical exercise to foster this acceptance is negative visualization, a Stoic technique that involves imagining adverse situations before they occur. Although it may sound uncomfortable, this practice mentally prepares you to accept the inevitable with calm and clarity. Ask yourself, what would happen if someone close to me let me down? How could I respond in a way that preserves my inner peace? Lesson 2. Recognize unrealistic expectations. Have you ever felt that the pain of betrayal is amplified when you think, I would never have done this? This reaction is natural, but it is also an indicator of an unrealistic expectation. Expecting others to act with your same values and principles. In Stoicism, we understand that expectations are the bridge that connects reality with suffering. Epictetus reminds us, it is not events themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. If we believe that everyone thinks or feels like us, we will inevitably fall into disappointment. Imagine you trust a friend to support you in an important project, but in the end, they don't come through. You feel anger and sadness, not just because of the action itself, but because you expected loyalty or commitment. However, that expectation belongs to your mental framework, not theirs. Practical exercise. Reflect on what expectations you had in the situation that hurt you. Write down a list of those expectations. Then, analyze if they were fair or if they projected your values onto the other person. This exercise can help you understand that the root of your pain is not always in what someone did, but in what you expected from them. By adjusting your expectations, you will not only reduce the impact of future disappointments, but also learn to accept people as they are, not as you expect them to be. Lesson 3. Practice indifference to harm. Betrayal only hurts if you give it that power. This Stoic idea challenges us to rethink how we perceive the actions of others. Instead of seeing them as personal attacks, we can choose to view them as external events, separate from our inner being. Think of a modern example. A friend promises to help you with something important and then fails to do so. Naturally, you might feel hurt or even resentful. But according to the Stoics, the true impact of that action does not come from the failure, but from the meaning you attribute to it. Marcus Aurelius said, if you have control over something, use it to change it. If you don't, accept it and move on. In this case, you cannot control your friend's decisions, but you can decide how to interpret them. Practical example. Imagine that a broken promise is like a stone thrown into a lake. You can choose to be like the water, which is disturbed for a moment and then returns to calm, or you can choose to hold on to the pain, letting the stone sink into you. Advice. Every time you feel the pain of betrayal, pause and ask yourself, am I allowing this to control my peace? Practicing indifference does not mean being insensitive, but remembering that your emotional well-being is in your hands. Lesson 4. Transform pain into opportunity. Every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your character. This Stoic principle invites us to see betrayal not as a final blow, but as a stage in our personal evolution. Although the pain can be intense, it is also fertile ground for growth. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest exponents of Stoicism, faced conspiracies and betrayals within his closest circle. Instead of succumbing to despair, he chose to turn those experiences into lessons that strengthened his leadership and resilience. Can you imagine the power of looking at pain and saying, "This will make me stronger"? Every time someone disappoints you, you have the opportunity to reassess your priorities, redefine your boundaries, and reinforce your self-esteem. Practical inspiration. Think of a situation where someone betrayed you. What did you learn about yourself? Perhaps you discovered that you underestimated your ability to recover, or that you need to be more selective about whom you trust. Exercise. Take a moment to write a positive affirmation based on that experience. For example, "Thanks to this betrayal, I now value my own strength more and choose to surround myself with people who respect my values." This shift in focus can transform even the deepest wounds into catalysts for positive change. Lesson 5. Develop inner strength through self-analysis. Know yourself, and you will find true strength. When we face betrayal, it is natural to seek answers outside. Blame the other person, question their actions, or wish they had acted differently. However, Stoicism guides us in a different direction. Inward. Self-analysis is a powerful tool to strengthen our mind and spirit. Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus advocated for daily reflection on our emotions and actions, understanding that only through self-knowledge can we transcend external wounds. Practical example. Suppose someone close to you breaks your trust. Instead of focusing solely on the why of their actions, ask yourself, how did I react? What emotions arose in me? What can I learn from this about my own expectations or values? Exercise. Spend a few minutes at the end of each day writing in a philosophical journal. Note 3 key questions. What emotions did I experience today because of this situation? What part of this experience was out of my control? What can I do tomorrow to move towards my inner peace? By incorporating this daily practice, you will begin to identify patterns in your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to act with more clarity and strength in the future. Lesson 6. Avoid victimization. You cannot control betrayal, but you can decide not to be a victim. This powerful Stoic message invites us to let go of the victim role and reclaim our agency over life. Betrayal, no matter how painful, does not define who you are. What truly matters is how you choose to respond. Marcus Aurelius used an analogy to describe this concept. A rock in the river does not complain about the water that hits it, but remains firm, adapting to the flow. Similarly, when someone betrays you, you can choose to be like that rock, resilient, firm, and adaptive. Practical example. Imagine someone experiencing betrayal at work, such as a colleague taking credit for their idea. They can stay trapped in indignation, allowing that event to consume their energy, or they can use it as an impetus to learn to better protect their contributions and focus on new projects. Advice: instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" change the narrative to, "What can I do with what happened to me?" This perspective helps you take control of your thoughts and actions, empowering you to move forward. Lesson 7. Rebuild self-confidence. The most important confidence is the one you have in yourself after betrayal. It is normal for trust in others to waver. However, Stoicism teaches us that the true foundation of trust does not lie in others, but in our ability to remain faithful to our own values. When someone breaks your trust, it is an opportunity to strengthen your relationship with yourself. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not worry about what others think or do. Worry about being true to yourself." This means clearly defining which values will guide your life and how you will act in coherence with them, regardless of circumstances. Practical action. Take a piece of paper and write down your 3 core values. For example, honesty, integrity, and perseverance. Then, commit to living aligned with them, remembering that self-confidence increases when your actions reflect your principles. Example: if someone betrays your trust, instead of closing off emotionally, you could say, "I choose to act with integrity because it is part of who I am, even if others do not do the same." This allows you to move forward without carrying the weight of the betrayal in your identity. Rebuilding self-confidence is an act of self-affirmation. It is telling yourself, "Even if others fail me, I will not fail myself." At the end of this journey, there is a central truth that Stoicism teaches us. Betrayal does not define you. What really matters is how you decide to face it. Each of these lessons, accepting the inevitable, adjusting expectations, practicing indifference, transforming pain, analyzing yourself, avoiding victimization, and rebuilding confidence, offers you a tool to regain your inner peace. Remember that you are not alone in this experience. At some point, everyone has felt the weight of betrayal, but it is also true that we all have the capacity to overcome it. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Peace is not found by avoiding storms, but by learning to navigate through them." Wounds can hurt, but they are also doors to unexpected growth. You have the possibility to become someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Take a deep breath, reflect on what you have learned, and remember, the power to heal and grow has always been within you. Now that we have explored these 7 Stoic lessons to overcome betrayal, I would like to know your opinion. Which lesson from today resonated with you the most? Share it in the comments. Your reflection could inspire others on this journey. If this video was helpful to you, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you do not miss more content like this. Lastly, remember, together we can learn to face challenges with wisdom and resilience. Let's continue building a community where practical philosophy becomes a guide for a fuller life.